With long-standing support from Toyota, the event has become something of an institution. It was that time of year again when Botswana goes a little crazy with Toyota 1000 loop on the Day 2 route would take competitors deeper into the Botswana bush before backtracking back to the finish in Gaborone. It was cold and misty with the overnight halt area looking like a Roman encampment from days of yore. Everyone was warmly wrapped up against the cold with overnight leaders Neil Woolwich and Kenny Scholthammer waiting to get proceedings underway in the factory Mitsubishi Pajero. There was time for a last-minute consultation between Woolwich and a member of the Mitsubishi service crew before the overall race leaders were flagged away. With a healthy overnight lead, the name of the game for Woolwich and Scholthammer would be to conserve the Pajero and try and control the pace from the front. It was up to other crews to do the chasing and take the risks. Some early morning condensation was a minor irritation for the Pajero crew, while back at the start, special vehicle leaders Mark Corbett and Juan Moore were also under starters' orders in the Jimco. Right behind them were Greg Harvey and Boy Stone in the Queen Motorspares Castrol Jimco, with the pair delighted with the performance of a car that for the first time was running on a manual gearbox. For the front runners and those doing the chasing in the various categories, there were some interesting tactical permutations to be considered. The Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser pair of Arby Reinecker and Robin Houghton were looking a little pensive at the start. They had a double problem in that they'd ground to make up on Woolwich and Scholthammer and were themselves under pressure from the impressive Cliff Wiechelt and Johan Smelberger in the N1 4x4 Toyota Land Cruiser. The fact that they were carrying official Toyota hopes on the desert race put a little extra pressure on Reinecker and Houghton. In only their second season in off-road racing, Wiechelt and Smelberger were proving to be something of a handful for more established crews. The distinctive yellow Toyota Land Cruiser hounded Reinecker and Houghton throughout Day 1, and the scrap between the Toyota entries was one of the more enticing tidbits offered on Day 2. Behind the two Land Cruisers, the third car away in the special vehicle category was the Cornbake Foods Jimco, in the hands of Shamir Variawa and Bucks Carolyn. Chasing after the Jimco was Class B overnight leader Marius Beaurain, who was back in harness after taking a sabbatical for a season or two. Race cam action from the Mitsubishi cult of Class D leaders Enzo Kuhn and Francois Jourdain, who were under pressure from a number of quarters. Better known as a rally driver, the talented Kuhn has taken to off-road racing like a duck to water. But the Class D leaders were under attack from Hannes Hrobler and Richard Leake in the factory Nissan, running in Class T. Although running in Class T, the Hrobler-Leake Nissan is near standard, with the pair picking up points while they wait for a state-of-the-art vehicle to come out of the Nissan workshop. Also involved in an interesting early Days 2 scrap were two Toyota Land Cruiser crews. The father and son combination of Schumi and Karl van Vuren were trying to close in on Hrobler and Leake, and were in turn being chased by Pete Haasbroek and Christo Bosch. Tagged on at the end of this little group were Nars LaRue and Henny Terstegen in the second Mitsubishi cult, and not far behind them were Class E leaders Jean-Pierre Joubert and Errol Hodgson in the Toyota Hilux. Still running at the front of the quad category was Mark Breckel on the Brasco refrigeration Yamaha. Riders are taking a pounding from the thorn bushes, with Breckel under attack from Brendan Bartenhorst on the CJ Yamaha. The thick sand and difficulty with route markings were also proving to be a handful for the quad competitors, who were having a tough time of it. Behind the two front runners, Paul Chomsa was going along steadily on the Answer FMF Racing Yamaha, but looming up behind him was a determined Jacques Struwik, who was looking for his first national championship win on the Answer FMF Yamaha. With the trademark flag fluttering from the back of the quad, Struwik was picking up the pace and had Chomsa in his sights. While the quads went their merry way, there were problems for Mitsubishi Pajero pair Friki Buerta and Veal scribe Elza Tiart, who would eventually be classified as the last crew home. Buerta and Tiart were still stranded when bike leader Daryl Curtis blasted past them on the AGA LG Castrol KTM. Curtis took control of proceedings when pre-race favourite Alfie Cox dropped out on Day 1 and was belting along as though there were no tomorrow. It was also full speed ahead for 250 class leader Elmer Simons on another of the AGA LG Castrol KTM entries. and veteran Jeremy Davies, who was charging up the open category leaderboard on another KTM. Also going well was Jay Goodseats, who was second in the 250 class on the Miller Moore Honda Racing entry, while behind him the Russell Campbell Racing Kawasaki, ridden by Wayne Farmer, had moved into the lead in the 200 category. There was an advance guard waiting for overall leaders Neil Woolrich and Kenny Schulthammer when the pair arrived at the designated service point. As has become the norm for the pair on recent events, they bypassed the service area and just kept going. The ploy, made possible by an enlarged fuel tank, saved the Mitsubishi Pajero pair valuable time.